My name is Grae. I recently joined the Aeternian Content Creation Project, and today I'd like to talk about So You're Young. This video is kept in mind for those that are in the micronational community, that are particularly young and seek after leadership and personal growth. Those that aspire to not only lead their own micronation and lead the community in micronationalism. So this video in mind is really designed to be an encouragement and a bit of guidance for those that are constantly hearing, oh, you're young, you're a dumb 8-year-old, you don't know what you're doing, oh, you're 15, trying to do what, you're ridiculous, look at the world around you, that's not necessary, or just that feeling in yourself that, you really want to connect with other like-minded people, and maybe you're unsure of yourself and you're not really sure where to go. So hopefully through this video you'll be able to find something in here that can encourage you and can inspire you, maybe even give you a little guidance towards your goals. So the big question in mind is, okay, so you're young. So what can you do now that when you're older it might be difficult to do? Because honestly, being young is a huge blessing, and I know a lot of times it may feel like a great disability because you can't drive a car, can't have a job, can't buy land, and all these other things that people can't, or people tell you that you can't do. And I just want to point out 4 things in which that you have as strengths that when you're older are really, really hard to do, and while you're young you have this great, wonderful opportunity to do now. So what can you do now that you're young that when you're older is going to be harder? Well, number one is that when you're older and you start working, you're going to have to pay taxes. And a lot of your time and energy and money is going to be spent on just your survival. And at first it really is difficult, and the older you get, hopefully things get easier. But when you're younger, you really have this great opportunity to go out there, and you do have a lot less legal hassle. If you wanted to create a job, whether that's shoveling snow or raking leaves or helping a neighbor with groceries or someone else you meet, or whatever it is that you are passionate about doing to create that money, you can now with a lot more ease when you're older, because you're not going to deal with the legal hassle, the taxes, and hopefully you don't have a lot of things making it harder for you at home, having to pay any kind of rent or help the family out. Now, if you do have to help the family out with money and finances and work and whatnot, that's okay. It's just going to strengthen you to be a better, more mature adult when you are of legal age, and things are going to be easier for you because you already have a lot of these skills already in place. However, number one is that when you're young, you have a lot more freedom financially and legally to take opportunity to grow yourself as an individual, so that when you get older, a lot of these things are easier for you. Number two, typically, and hopefully it is the case, that when you're younger, you have an easier support system. And I've talked about this in the last point, but you see, when you're younger, a lot more people are more willing to support you and help you. Hey, you want to go out and get a job? Hey, mow my lawn, do a good job, and I'll pay you cash. You can have your uncles and aunts and parents and grandparents and maybe even some friends that are willing to just support you and help you. So don't shy away from being passionate about what you're doing and reaching out to other people to make an opportunity for yourself. And look, you're going to get a lot of people that are going to say no to you, and that's okay, because you know what? They're just not meant for you. But again, point number 2 is that when you're younger, you have a lot more options for a support system that really come with a lot of strings not attached. You're a lot more free. Point 3 is that when you're younger, not only is it easier for you to grow, we're talking physically here, emotionally here, spiritually, but also your knowledge. And you're like a sponge, and so when you're young, you have a lot more opportunity to take in information and to really hone yourself for when you get older, and you have more of an opportunity to really progress your dreams and your goals. Let me see. And the last point in this is creative, inspired, and original. And see, when you're younger, you have a lot more original ideas and a lot more inspired to do things, and it's a really important time to take captive of those things and to really find out which one of those ideas and things that you believe in are really right and important for you. And you really, and we're going to get this into practical next. But just understand that when you're young, you have so much good things that can be around if you choose to pay attention to them. And look, I get it, like life can be confusing, hard, and weird, and difficult sometimes, and at the end of the day, man, it's up to you, and we can look at ourselves and we can be like, well, look, these are the things we can't do, but there's a whole bunch, just a library of the things that we can do, and hopefully some of the things that I've listed here really do give you some ideas of how to move forward as an individual. Now, on a practical note, and excuse me one moment, come here, little buddy. Hey, this is my dog, everyone. He's 22 years old. His name is Oni. He's very cute. Yeah? Alright, back to the video. You can't interrupt me too much. Alright, on a practical note, what can you do to hone yourself, to grow yourself for the sake of leadership and personal growth? Number one is take notes and listen. Now, hopefully you'll have interests that you are really particular to. Take a lot of time to listen to wise and educated people on those subjects, and don't be afraid of learning new things that you might not think you are a fan of. And always take notes. Take the time to sit down, write down, and take the things that meant something to you while you were listening and to write them down. It's always important to have a record of things so you can go back and you can reiterate some of the things that you've learned. And also, the other thing with this too is that hopefully in your area, wherever you are, there is older people, wiser people, people that you can look up to, heroes of some form. Excuse me, I'm just checking my phone. Of some form that are willing to give words of advice. Hopefully you'll listen to them and you'll take the time to hear what they have to say, even if you don't like it at first. And you know, sometimes, especially, I understand that when you're young and you think you have this idea and you're going for it, and these people don't know what you're talking about. Let me help make you a distinction with some of these things. See, there's a difference between having a dream and a goal and how you get there, because how you get there is equally as important as your dream and your goal. And so older and wiser people are going to help you get to where you need to go in a way that is equally as important as your goal. So don't shy away from listening to older and wiser people and taking the time to write notes and like I said, reiterate some of the things that they've said. Number two, on a practical level, have a journal. Your life is important and it matters, and your progress as an individual is really paramount to your personal growth. Take time to write down what's going on in your life and see how these pieces affect and move you, and really just see who you are as a person. Personal stories that I used to not like writing. I used to never keep a journal, ever. And one of my siblings was like, you should keep a journal. I think it'd really help you. Next thing, I was not only journaling every day, and I don't always journal every day, that's the truth now, but I still try to as much as I can, all the important things that happen, and I began writing, and it just pushed me into this magnificent world, and I want to share that with you guys as well. To have a journal. Take risks. Point number three is take risks for old and new ideas. Look, as a micronationalist, in this day and age, what you're doing is considered ridiculous. Most people are not going to agree with you. Maybe they're your friends, your family. They're going to think you're crazy, or you're dumb, or you're just wasting your time. Okay, and some people like Tide Pods. It's like, okay. However, be willing to take risks for old and new ideas, and be okay with looking stupid to other people's. Look, if your culture, if your nation does something that you like to howl at nighttime because it's a tradition of your culture, and you just sit on your porch and howl, as long as it's not, like being rude and disrespectful, and you just do it every night or whatever it is, and it's important to you, just do it. It's really okay to live your life the way that you see fit and is necessary for you. Again, as long as you're not being rude and intrusive and abusive towards other people around you. And look, some people are going to say, well, that is rude and abusive and I don't like what you're doing. Take time to understand where people are toxic and some people are going to be toxic with you. They're going to use the relationship with you in some way or form of another to abuse you because they don't want you to take the path that you're taking. And you know what? Good intentions or bad intentions, you should just look at it and be okay with that people are who they are, but for your own sake, you need to grow. Again, take into effect the first point of taking notes and listen. Never believe that you're always right. One of my favorite sayings is bring your own food to the table, and advice is the salt. And that's really the important thing, is be willing to eat your own food and be willing to eat alone at the table. But never forget that things taste better with a bit of salt. Things taste better with advice. Number 4, on a practical level, it's okay. And I understand that's like a weird thing on a practical level, but I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be okay. It really is going to be okay, right? You come from a dysfunctional family, poor income, or maybe you have a lot of income but a lot of stress, and there's all these things that happen to you in life. But I'm going to tell you something now, right? We are blessed with every day that we live, and it's important to understand that we have the opportunity to wake up and have a new day with a new blessing, and it's going to be okay. Keep believing in yourself. Keep grinding forward. And at the end of the day, it's just going to be okay. And look, if it doesn't feel okay, just go to bed and be like, tomorrow's going to be different. Because all it takes to change your life is to make one choice. Okay? And you make that choice by every day when you wake up, saying, I want to do life a little bit differently today. Okay? So that's the 4th practical step for leadership and personal growth. And so one last thing that I want to say here. I wrote it down, it's about what you become, because character is the platform for greatness. And I want to encourage you, as much as you're studying maybe these different fields and then all these different passions, sorting out your personal life, working through whatever it is you do, understand that character is the most important platform for youth. No matter how young you are, you can be a great person because of your character. In fact, it's character that defines greatness. And truly, don't look down. Don't look down upon your youth. There's no value to it. I get it. There's so many things you don't know. There's so many unanswered questions, so many things you don't know inside of you. It's not only going to be okay, but when you seek character, a lot of these turmoils and stresses and craziness around you will be at ease. And I just want to encourage you to seek after character. That will be the greatest thing for your leadership, for your nation, and for your personal growth. So you're on. All right, have a good day.